Good morning. Good morning. I'm Barbara Simmons, Chair of the International Law Section. We're honored to have the Congressman Jackson and all these other luminaries with us, but everyone in this room is important. You're all a VIP. We're grateful to our Vice Chair of the International Law Section, Robyn McCoy, who, out of her passion, insisted last year that we have what we call Part 1 in addressing the Haitian crisis. And so this is Part 2. And one of the things that I emphasized with her was that we wanted to demonstrate actions that have been taken, that we are not regurgitating. And, you know, we have a number of people that specialize in what I call AOPs, articulators of the problem, but they don't come with solutions and actions to address them. So we're very honored to have all of the speakers today. We're glad you're here, and we, at the end of this, want to partner with you as to how we can move forward and have actions that will have impact on the crisis in Haiti. And so with that, thank you for being here.
Yes. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So good morning, everyone. My name is Attorney Robyn McCoy, and I am the Vice Chair for the International Law Section. I want to thank our Chair, Madam Barbara Simmons, for her remarks, and also acknowledge her. Our section, we received the honor of Section of the Year from the NBA this year, so we want to give the section and Barbara, under Barbara Simmons' leadership, a round of applause. We also want to celebrate Barbara for her birthday. She just recently had a birthday. I was like, when we have some time, we're going to sing Bon Anniversaire, Bon Anniversaire. That's a happy birthday in French. So again, I want to thank you all for being here, and glad you guys made it, because I tried to give out directions. This place, this is like one of the largest Hyatts in the nation, so it's more than an ocean. For the lawyers, I want to make sure that you know Mia is outside. She's scanning your QR code, so if you need CLE credit, then make sure that she scans it. We also have a sign-in sheet going around for the lawyers and the non-lawyers, so make sure we get your name, number, and email. We have pamphlets for the International Law Section for those of you that are interested in joining. And we're going to have as we have this program, we had an amazing program, a symposium on Monday. And so we're going to continue to have programming. We typically meet virtually, but we also do panels at the different conferences, Wiley Branton and Mid-Year, and we'll be in Nashville next year. We also will be doing, we've done some international trips. Barbara led the group and they went to Ghana. There was a group that went to South Africa. And so, we are definitely on the move as far as the International Law Section. So I also want to thank my mother, Nurse Pamela McCoy. Stand and raise your hand, Mom. Nurse Pamela McCoy. That is Miss Afrocentric, Miss Pan-African over there. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here. Well, obviously I wouldn't be here without her, but she inspired that and instilled it in me. And then my father, Attorney Robert Irwin McCoy is here.
All right.
So I'm going to give a shout out to Robert Irwin McCoy, the real McCoy from Benton Harbor, Michigan. So we are here to discuss the humanitarian crisis in Haiti and protecting immigrant rights in America. Our nation is facing what I would call the millennial Jim Crow era right now. Ephesians 6:12, I'm a preacher's grandkid, so Pentecostal, John Henry McCoy. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." That's one of the scriptures that came to me as I've been dealing with this, and then just what's happening in the world right now. In America, it's a hot, stinking mess. Okay. So things may seem bleak for us, African folk in America, African folk in the African diaspora. I'm here to tell you that with God, all things are possible, and the just live by faith and not by sight. What brought me to this issue about what's happening with our Haitian brothers and sisters in America and the humanitarian crisis in Haiti is the Spirit of the Lord saying that we must protect our Black immigrants in America, as well as our brothers and sisters in Haiti and African brothers and sisters who are struggling in America and all over the world. There is a movement afoot in Africa by Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso and some of the other Francophone countries, Mali and Niger, where they are, they're pushing the French out and they're basically saying Africa for Africans. And he is an amazing leader, a rising star across the continent, Jamaica, all over the world. And I think it's important that we understand that African people, we are the original people. We built civilizations in the motherland. They saw that. That's why they brought us here to America. They brought us to the Americas, to the Caribbean, because they saw that we the original people, and we are skilled. You can go to the DeSable Museum. The DeSable, the founding father of Chicago, you can go to the museum and they talk about how we were agriculturalists, we were mercenaries, and I'm getting the cue from Michaela, Deborah, in Florida about the time. But we built this nation, we built the Caribbean, and we are the original people. We see in the media, they focus, it's upsetting, obviously, what's happening in the Ukraine. We have solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Palestine that are facing genocide, famine. What I am Pam's daughter, okay, Pam and Robert, but I am nurse. When I see on the news, I'm like, what about the Black people in the world? What about the Black people in our backyard? What about our Haitian brothers and sisters that are in Haiti and they've had the assassination of their president, and you have Toussaint Louverture liberated Haiti, liberated the whole island, and set the tone for the rest of us on the mainland as far as liberating ourselves from slavery and the imperialists. And so I said, we've got, Barbara will tell you, some of y'all see me on my Zoom and I get all hyped up and everything. Hosea 4:6 said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. What affects one directly affects all of us indirectly. That's from his letter from the Birmingham jail. So some people may say, some African American folk may say, well, why do we care about the Haitians? Because they're our brothers and sisters. There's the Willie Lynch effect, where Willie Lynch tried to have us divided by age, gender, race, but we are all one. And what affects them affects us. When they start locking up folks that are Haitian, what does a Haitian look like? Okay, all the people here in the room look Haitian. They're not going to be able to know whether it's you or anybody else. And we need to, watch Ava DuVernay's documentary 13th, because she was predicting all of this that was going to happen. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our panelists. We're going to jump in. We're going to do this. We've got two panels. We have on the left, we're going to go from the left to the right. We have Anastasie Sénat, who is the immediate past president of the Haitian Lawyers of Illinois. And I will say this, I reached out to her, and she is a force to be reckoned with. She's on our committee. She has been on it. She has been on task. She'll talk about more about her background. Was working with the Department of Education, teaches immigration. Y'all need some help. Hey, you need 4 people because she's got to make her coin. And she worked for ICE for a number of years. Now she's helping with Haitian immigrants to get asylum. So Anastasie, amazing. Then we have Daryl August. We have Daryl August, who is with the Cook County, the Juvenile Division of the DA's office, and is active. I believe you're the secretary for the Haitian Lawyers?
I'm the current secretary, past president, past treasurer, and past vice president.
Oh my God.
We work our people.
If there's a new position, I'll probably pass that.
Yeah, and then we have Congressman Jonathan Jackson. That's what the first panel, we're going to talk about restore, rebuild, restabilize. He was there when I came here to Chicago because I called Anastasie. I don't know if I was I think I was at the panel where Yveline, where are you? Yveline stand up, Yveline, she started, okay, Barbara and I went to Yveline's panel on Haiti in New York. I went there and I reached out to Anastasie. She said, oh, there's a panel in Chicago, and there's a summit, and Judge Yveline Dauphin, who's the current Haitian Lawyers President, raise your hand, she's going to be on our second panel. She put together an amazing 3-day summit. That's where we heard from Congressman Jonathan Jackson. We heard, it's Justice Jackson's son. Okay. We heard from Congressman, and then we heard from Etzer Cantave, who is with us. And we have Guerline Jozef. Raise your hand, Guerline, who is amazing. You can see her on the media with the Bridge Alliance holding it down. We've got Vanessa Joseph. And so, again, we've got an all-star panel. The first panel, the second panel's all-star. And I'm just letting y'all know, this is not like a one and done. This is like what did Yveline said, you're learning to be Haitian. Okay, I'm learning to be Haitian, and y'all gonna learn too. We all learning. And we're going to do what we can, to help our brothers and sisters that are here. There's things that you can do here. There's help that's needed in Haiti. And so I just tell people, get in where you fit in. If you give your time, give your money, give whatever you can do to help our Haitian brothers and sisters, that's what we'll do. So we're going to start with the questions. And so, let's see, I'm starting, first I want to give Congressman Jackson some brief time to give brief remarks, and then we'll start in with our questions. So if you want to go ahead.
Well, sure.
Can you hear him?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your continued fight in this struggle. I'm Congressman Jonathan Jackson, serving Illinois' 1st congressional district. This district has had African-American leadership since 1929. It's the oldest, longest consecutively serving district in the United States of America with African-American leadership, which is also fitting because you are now just off of Wacker and DuSable Drive. This drive has been officially renamed after the founder of the city of Chicago, Jean-Baptiste DuSable. And it's been a long time in the making. I'm old enough to remember Dr. Margaret Burroughs that created the African American History Museum, the DuSable Museum, if you will, because there was no recognition of the founder of the city of Chicago. When you think of North Carolina and you think of Raleigh, Sir Walter Raleigh, you think of Penn and you think of Penn and all the other people. But we're going through a period of erasure. The remains of Jean-Baptiste DuSable is actually in St. Louis. He got put in debtor's prison and got run out of Chicago. But that's been a consistent migratory pattern. How does that relate to today? We're going through another period of erasure. One of the most important things that we can do is raise our voice, continue to meet, continue to come out in numbers like we're doing today. Because there is a level of erasure that's happening in Washington, D.C. amongst all of our people. In serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, it is hard to hear the word Africa ever. It's hard to hear the word diaspora. It's hard to hear the word Haitian ever. And so one of the things that I've been a very much advocate for, and I will sit down, is I don't look at Haiti as a debtor country. I don't look at Haiti as begging the United States for something. And every time they tell me that the United States has the oldest, longest friend in some other part of the world, I quickly remind them America's longest, oldest ally is the Haitian community. That's right. We have to continue to tell our story, our narrative, from our perspective. Like, what other country in the world fought for America like Haiti did in the Revolutionary War, and the Battle of Savannah, and other places? So, telling our story, I know it's old to us, but 99.9% of the rest of the country has not heard this for the first time. There's a street downtown, just here in Chicago, called Kinsey Street. And I remember one day walking outside the mayor's office in City Hall, and I saw a piece of artwork on the wall, and it was dedicated to Kinsey. So of course I took a little time to look at the placard, and underneath it, it said, Chicago's first white settler. And that's why they have Kinsey Street. And 150 years later, we didn't have DeSable Street. So we've at least fixed that. And so now, on this very prestigious street of Lakeshore Drive, which is one of the longest drives in an urban center in the world, of 18 miles of contiguous lakefront with unobstructed views on the lakefront, is what makes Lakeshore Drive unique. Only a few countries, only like 3 major cities in the world have a coastline, if you will, a skyline like that. The second part is on the advocacy of this administration. Let me take you back to one point that I was see. You shouldn't tell a politician you got time to but the last thing I would say on that is what happened with the Trump administration when they were running for election. And let us not forget this. Okay, and I was very upset with the Biden administration because when I went down to Laredo to see the Haitian immigrants that were being turned away, I had never seen such brutality. They were greeting the Haitians with men on horses and whips. This was the precursor to what ICE is doing. That was the Border Patrol agents that were whipping people. I'm like, is this the late 1800s? This is god awful. And the administration had people, women were delivering babies in a dirt field where the babies were being born with asthma at a rate of almost 12 a day, and then lying to the people, putting them on unmarked planes and shipping them away, God knows to where. But one of the things the administration had done is they've made a concerted effort to put the fear, and it's a political tool to scare the general population. Now, it's good for their votes, but it's very destructive and corrosive for the rest of the society. So when J.D. Vance went to Ohio and started talking about the Haitian invasion and what the Haitians are doing, what's the name of the town in Ohio? Springfield, Ohio. Code word for that is there are like 26 cities, and there's cities in 26 states that have the word Springfield. That's the name. So he wasn't talking about specifically that community in Springfield, Ohio. That was code word for Haitians and immigrants nationwide. Because the facts were clear, the Haitians revived and kept that town
Okay,
alive.
Congressman, thank you. And I'm going to welcome Yveline Dalmacy, she's with the Haitian Lawyers of New York. She's running for office, y'all, so she got her information. She's co-moderating with me. She did a fabulous panel that was in New York. And so we're gonna turn it over to Guerline Jozef to talk about, to start us with the most, wait a minute, it's supposed to be the beginning. Let me see, I'm just looking at the questions here. To kind of give us a breakdown of give us an update of what's happening and kind of action steps. So, Guerline?
Yes, thank you so much. Can
Do
you
you
hear
need
me? I'll come instead.
Oh, people in the back said they can't hear. Okay. And we're on camera.
No, you.
Honneur? Honneur? Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Congressman, and our amazing moderators for having us. My name is Guerline Jozef. I am the founder and executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance. Before I go into the history and current things that are happening currently, just want to go back to what the Congressman mentioned. In 2021, we saw what happened in Del Rio under the bridge. And when we saw Black people being whipped by people on horseback, I was under that bridge. And due to that, we actually sued both Biden and his vice president for the mistreatment of Black people in Del Rio, Texas. And this case is ongoing. And then we also heard what Congressman mentioned about during the campaign, the slur that were used to dehumanize Haitians specifically, and that has been the norm in the United States. So we currently have lawsuits against both Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance, and we have charged them with criminal charges due to those rhetoric and mistreatment of Haitians. So we are equal opportunity groups of people who will hold the United States accountable for what they have done yesterday and what's happening today. And it is a blessing to be in a room full of melanin people. So to go back to the history very quickly, we all know 1804, and we are continuing to pay for 1804. And we understand clearly what's happening currently in Haiti is directly tied with US foreign policies towards Haiti. And let's not forget that after the revolution that freed black people, and Haiti created a safe haven for all people, not just people in Haiti. And we also want to bring it back to the occupation of the US in Haiti. And when we hear about Haiti being the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, we need to understand how is it that we have the richest colony becoming the poorest country. And the United States is one of the main culprits for that. Forcing Haiti to pay France billions of dollars for lost wages of black people. In addition to that, during the US occupation in Haiti, they completely emptied the bank, using that money to fund Citibank. How many of us have a Citibank account? So Haiti's money is in the US and in France. That is why we are in the situation that we are today. Looking into what's currently happening, and I know we don't have much time. So quickly, a few things. We are currently under attack. TPS, temporary protected status. In the name itself, it says temporary. And that's what creates some of the misunderstanding of what the program is supposed to do. But it is temporary based on current country conditions. And the country conditions in Haiti right now is worse than when we had the earthquake in 2010. And I will repeat. In 2010, when over 250,000 people died in one day, leaving over 2 million people completely hopeless. We are in the worst case today due to US foreign policies and extreme corruption in Haiti. Currently have 1.5 million people who are completely homeless right now in Haiti. And so we are looking into the Haitian migration in the US. And we are saying, why are they here? We are hearing that all the time. They are here because we have been in their countries. The reason that they are fleeing Haiti currently after the assassination of the president. And did you know that President Aristide was removed from power? And did you know the reason why he was removed mainly was because he was pushing for reparation of black people? Not just Haitians, but all people. So today, as we continue to fight against the fascism regime that we are under right now, we are asking the attorneys to come alongside the Haitian Bridge Alliance, the Haitian Lawyers Association, the Haitian community, to fight for TPS, to fight for CHNV parole program, that people actually did everything that the government required of them. And they followed the law. And they came here, quote unquote, legally. But in history today, we have the biggest mass delegalization of people, where we have a government that is removing the legal status of people, rendering them undocumented and pushing them for deportation. So I am going to stop here, but we are asking the attorneys to please join us in the fight for TPS. We are looking for pro bono attorneys to support for asylum cases and other cases in the US. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, thank you so much for being here. My name is Yveline Dalmacy. Not only am I the new treasurer of ILS, I'm the corresponding secretary for the Halani, New York, the Haitian Lawyers Association of New York, and I'm also the secretary for the United Nations Committee of the New York City Bar Association. So my question, to you guys, and also I have my law professor here, Professor Neville, you please stand up. That's my professor, my mentor, and now my friend. So my question is going to be based on the executive orders and policies that affect Haitians. So I'm going to have Ms. Anastasie to answer the questions. To give you a short background, we have an executive order on January 20th of 2025 that terminated the processes to Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans parole program. And also the second executive order, another one signed by the president on June 4th, 2025, it restricted entries of nationals from several countries, including Haitians. And we have another executive order. I'm sorry. Huh?
Sorry, you guys. We have so much information to share. It's unbelievable. We've done our best to put it together. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me reintroduce myself. Hi. Okay, you're not with that. Anyway, I'm Anastasie Sénat. I am the immediate past president of the Haitian American Lawyers Association.
Anastasie.
Oh, you can't hear me?
People in the back and I hear you. I'll give you the mic.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
I know they can hear me. I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't stand up. And anyway, so I'm the immediate past president of the Haitian American Lawyers Association of Illinois. And HALA started in 2008 after the Haitian lawyers in Florida, you know, we tried to follow suit, but we wanted to add the American part to it. Y'all gonna do it? You all ain't gonna do it. Anyway, anyhow, so after HALA in Illinois started, then we got a HALA in other places. So there's a lot of bar presidents. In the second panel, we'll get into some of those more legal issues. What we want to talk to you about today is really about what's going on in Haiti and what we need you all to do. Right now, we have some legislation, as Congressman Jackson already knows. It was introduced by Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky here out of Illinois. It was drafted by us, really, in Chicago. What we wanted to do is to seek, really, let me just put it out there, it's reparations. We really wanted some money. And the reason why we wanted some money is because the infrastructure in Haiti needs to be rebuilt, right? We need to have good roads, clean water. We needed an educational system that works, not only for the children that are currently there, but you know, for the population as it's growing. Because right now, I think the median age is like 25 in Haiti. And there was like a brain drain, and a lot of doctors and nurses and all that came out of Haiti. So we need to replenish the population's educational system so that we can get more of those people that are there. We also wanted to make sure that we were bringing people forward in terms of not just, you know, health, education, but economically speaking. You know, some people just haven't been to Haiti, but Haiti's a gorgeous place. And if you've been to Jamaica, Haiti's 10 times better. I don't know who Jamaican, but you know, it's kind of like being a Delta. We just 10 times better. To my D9 people. We love all the D9, but you know better.
We love all our Caribbean people.
We love them. But that's why we are here today. We have a lot of questions that we're going to ask each other, but I wanted to set the stage so that you understand what we need from you all. We need you to understand where we've been, where we're going, and what we need from you today. What we need from you today is to contact Congressman Jackson and all of them. Right. In order to make sure that we can get this money. We didn't use the word reparations, obviously. We used the words reform, rebuild, and restabilize. But right now, I think Etzer and Daryl, they're also on here. I just wanted to let you guys know real quick, that's what we're about. That's how we're on it. But if you do have any specific questions, I am an immigration law professor, and I did work for ICE deporting people, I don't know, 15 plus years. So I know some stuff.
We're just going to go down the panel, and the next question is, what is the current U.S. Haiti policy? How can U.S. humanitarian aid shift from short-term aid to long-term aid? Actually, I think, do you want to have Guerline start with that?
No.
Or, okay, Daryl, we'll just go down the panel.
Absolutely. Thank you. And first of all, thank you for letting me be here. I am Daryl August, or Ayud Auguste, if you want to be really ethnic about it. And I am a second-generation Haitian American. The thing that's beautiful about this situation is I'm sitting next to two people here who have history of working with the Haitian community and the black community. I'm married to a beautiful black woman named Amanda August, who I always tell her, when my parents came to this country, they walked the line of many people that lost their lives for us to have the rights that we have today. In 1980, my parents could ride on the bus in the front and back. They can go to school anywhere. I went to law school because people in the United States past lost their lives for us to have those benefits. So what I want to talk about the policies that was going on is that the policy in Haiti and the policies in America conflict with each other. This conflict is the conflict that we all need to address. The things that happen in Haiti also can affect us here in the United States.
Yes.
It's not the fact that we're across the ocean and we don't touch each other. Oh, absolutely not. Just as when my parents came here in 1979 and 1980 to live the dream, as my parents said, I came here to live the dream that I could not live in Haiti. That dream was built by the black people in this country. And they changed policies to do that. So their son, who didn't do too well in first and second grade, almost flunked out, is now a trial supervisor in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office.
All right now.
All right.
But what does that mean in the policy? When we have policies that we have, such as the immigration policies that are going on now, TPS. There are people who have been on TPS for so many years, more than 15 years, not just in 2010, it's been before that. There are people who are in TPS who are attorneys, who are partners at law firms, who have been to med school, who have invested in this country, who have benefited this country, who have paid taxes, who have come here to build just like our ancestors built. And yet the policies, such as the deportation of Haitians, such as the ending of parole, not only affects the Haitian people and the fact that they did not get to reap their benefits, but you all get to lose the fact of the things that you were supposed to get for the people that invested in this country, your doctors, your lawyers. My dad was a bus driver. Whoever rode the 143 in downtown, you rode with my dad. But he came here to invest in this country and to build. Building blackness, building black excellence is not just a United States thing. It's an international thing. So the policies that hurt us in Haiti are absolutely hurting us in the United States. So what do we do about it? What are those policies that we try to end? We have to end those policies that restrict black immigration. We have to do that. It's not, we see on the news that they want people from other countries, which is perfectly fine. I am for immigration 100%. I'm for people who are in destitute countries to come here and live the life that my parents got to live. But we have to understand the attack is on people of color. The attack is on people of color. And if they can attack people of color in other countries, they can attack people of color in our country. So what do we do to attack that? We have to talk to our congressmen. We have to talk to our aldermen. We have to talk to our community leaders. We have to talk to our pastors. We have to talk to everybody who would listen to make a movement. A movement starts from the ground up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We want to keep our answers 2 minutes or under. So now, having listened to you, so our next question is, what principles guide U.S. policy thinking?
Thank you. It's very inconsistent as far as what happens with people of African origin. It's very consistent on what happens with people of European origin. When you look at the current situation in Haiti, when we talk about gang violence, when they talk about Ukraine or Europe, they don't talk about gangs, they talk about armies, they talk about war. I want to make sure that there's one word is translatable and it makes the same sense. I want to thank the Simmons family. You remind me of the family I grew up in when the daughter and the mother and the father, I got drug up into all this stuff. So I'm glad you brought your daughter and you made her come along and do such great work. McCoy, the real McCoy. I got you. And Robin Simmons who started us. So the second part is it's been very inconsistent. Here's a key note that you have to understand about one of the core tenets of slavery. Every generation has to experience mass theft. What we're experiencing right now is another version of the mass theft. We're asking for people to have mass deportation, those that have invested, like you've just described, in the businesses, in your houses, in your cars. You're telling people to leave all of your assets behind and flee. somebody else will pick them up and purchase them for pennies on the dollar. Same thing happened when you look at African Americans having been overcharged for mortgages. Then people can't afford their houses and banks can come in and purchase them wholesale. It's another generation of mass theft. I cannot overemphasize our continued need to tell our narrative, to tell our stories. Now we're at the point, not only to the broader community, we have to tell this to our children and grandchildren. Many of our children that have benefited and grandchildren, they don't know our own history. That's the most frustrating thing about being in the Congress right now for me. In closing, before my time runs out, I just left Charleston, South Carolina, the port where most of the African bodies came into the New World. They've got a fabulous structure. It was a big controversy on whether or not they were going to keep and erect something for the slave quarters where people were being sold. The same slave quarters that you see in Ghana. But the problem that I found out now that it's become so popular, they have kept the structure of the building and they have erased the history. So you have to go all through there to find any comment, any placard describing African bodies that were sold there. So our history is being erased. How does that fall into what we have to do now? We can't move our agenda forward until we get on the same page, lobby together, share our story together, because we're being erased. So there's no collective memory of the struggles and the pain and the progress that we've made. That also feeds into our children's self-esteem. They need to see we've always resisted, we've always fought, we've always believed in ourselves.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Etzer. He's going to talk about HR 1114 and what is the ask of our U.S. elected officials for Haiti.
So thank you so much. And so first, I need to thank Congressman Jackson for the wonderful tribute that he made to Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable as a former president of the Sable Heritage Association. So I really appreciate this recognition. And so I welcome you all here to the city of Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable. So our main ask is that the House of Representatives pass HR 1114, the L'Ouverture Economic Development Act of 2025, for short, the L'Ouverture Bill. Upon its creation in 2021, the Coalition of Haitian American Organizations in the Chicagoland area, the coalition, made a strong push for a reset in U.S.-Haiti relations to correct the many wrongs of the past. We proposed a large-scale economic development initiative, a Marshall Plan, aimed at rebuilding Haiti, transforming its economic structures, providing for its citizens, and keeping them at home. This proposal was introduced in the 118th Congress in May 2024 by Representative Jan Schakowsky as Resolution 1241, with help from the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, NEON, and the Haiti Renewal Alliance, One Diaspora Group. HR 1241 became Bill HR 1114. The L'Ouverture Bill was sponsored in the 119th Congress by Congresswoman Sheila Sherfields McCormick on February 7, 2025. I'm elated to see at my left a co-sponsor of this bill, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Thank you. Right. This bill is assigned to the House Foreign Affairs and the Ways and Means Committees. HR 1114 seeks to establish a Haitian American Enterprise Fund, HAEF. The Enterprise Fund is a mechanism used by the U.S. to develop a viable private sector in emerging economies. There have been 12 such programs globally. The Haitian American Enterprise Fund will be the first in the Western Hemisphere. The Haitian American Enterprise Fund will authorize capital infusion of $1 billion per year over the next 5 years starting in 2026. These funds will go through the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation and managed by an oversight panel. These investment funds are specifically directed not to government agencies nor to NGOs, but to targeted Haitian industries with particular emphasis on micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. They will advance viable projects in construction, infrastructure, agriculture, energy, manufacturing, biodiversity, tourism, and enable joint ventures between Haitian American, and American companies. This investment will be subject to robust transparency mechanisms. The strategy of expanding the private sector at the bottom through HAEF will result in job creation and much improved economic metrics. We believe that the drastic improvement of Haiti's economic conditions will stabilize the country, mitigate the insecurity challenges, and address the persistent root causes of migration. We seek to mobilize bipartisan congressional allies and build a broad base of support to ensure the passing of H.R. 1114, the Louverture Bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have another elected official on the panel, so we wanted to also ask her, this is addressed to Vanessa Joseph, what principles guide U.S. policy thinking?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Joseph. I'm the elected city clerk for the city of North Miami, and I am also the incoming president. Thank you. The incoming president for the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network. And when we think about the policies that we're having conversations about right now, I think that number one, we have to understand first that U.S. thinking when it comes to policy around Haiti is governed by their own interests. Of course. And so that's why when we think about the role that elected officials play, we have to have more elected officials of Haitian descent who are at these tables having these conversations to help guide some of that. In addition to being an elected official, I'm also an immigration attorney at a nonprofit organization in Miami, Florida. And so I have this vantage point that allows me to see things from two different areas, understanding that you have the interests of the jurisdiction that you represent, but you also have a duty to your people, which is why I came into practice. And so I think what oftentimes we forget is that we have to be our own advocates. But what we also forget is that we keep sitting in these rooms having conversations about what we should be doing for Haiti and not asking Haitians in Haiti what they want. And we have to stop making that mistake because people have the right to self-determination. And we often want to sit here and have these conversations in the absence of the people who are affected by the every single day realities. I have a really good friend of mine who reminded me of his frustrations. We were on a podcast together and he was like, everyone's always telling us what we should have done. Here's what you should have done, you should have done this. So you want me to just take an AK-47 and go blast people? What sense does that make? So we have to really be thinking about what we're saying when we keep telling people what they have an obligation to go do when that may not be a reality on the ground. The other thing is that, just very quickly, because I know we have another panel at and we're ending here at 11:30, but we also have to think creatively about what is out there that we can do in elected capacities, but also making sure that we're partnering with organizations on the ground in Haiti, but also right here in the United States. NEON is an organization of elected officials, more than 150 members across 18 different states, right? But we also have organizations, community-based organizations in those various states. And so in Miami, for example, we have the Haitian American Lawyers Association. And it took an elected official for me to have a conversation with a previously elected official to understand that actually there is a possibility to use some of taxpayers' money who want these funds, who've articulated that there is a need in our community to support our communities with legal services. There is potential to do that, there's funding to do that, so let's make sure that that happens. That $50,000 request turned into $1 million every single year from 2021 and still today. And so those are the things that we need to be thinking about and having conversations about, because it's one thing to educate the community, but it's another thing to make sure that our lawyers can actually put a roof over their heads as they do it.
Right.
The other thing is that when it comes to the role of folks here who are attorneys, it doesn't have to be, if you don't have any immigration experience, that's totally fine. There is so much value in the things that folks in this room know. They need to be partnering with NEON, the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, to have conversation about, well, let's talk about taxes, let's talk about tax law, let's talk about just in foreign policy. If you all have policy background, help us shape some policy agendas for this community. In 2020, we developed a policy agenda in South Florida. That should have been a national objective, but we just couldn't get enough people from outside of South Florida to participate. So today is the day, because all of what is happening here is also part of the missteps that we took, the time that we wasted, the generations who failed to make sure that we were coming together to do this work. So I'll stop there.
I understand that the Attorney General Kwame Raoul is here. So, actually, if you could come forward, we're going to have Guerline answer a couple questions, and then if Attorney General, if you want to give some brief remarks, and then we're going to close this out and move on to the next panel.
Okay. He's like, I didn't want that.
Okay, and for Guerline, we're asking, what are the most urgent humanitarian needs in Haiti, and what are the U.S. options to address Haiti's crisis?
Ooh, that's a hard one, and we only have 2 minutes. But would like to echo what our fellow panelists have mentioned. Specifically, go back to what City Clerk Jozef mentioned. It's really, what do we need here in the U.S. to support the community? And making sure when we speak about Haiti, that the people on the ground are at the center of what needs to happen. But what the U.S. should be doing is really becoming a true partner to Haiti, because the U.S. has never been a partner to Haiti. Haiti has always been a partner to the U.S., but it has never been the other way around. And how to become a true partner to Haiti is by addressing the structural problems we have, and by building the schools, the hospitals, supporting on the ground so that we can be truly self-sufficient. And I can tell you, Haitians are not here to beg. They are here to continue to be the light to guide the world into true liberation and true freedom. And so therefore we understand what continues to happen to destabilize the country. How do we come together to change that paradigm? How do we come together to co-empower the people in Haiti to be able to move past the abyss that we find ourselves in? Do you know that we have a U.S. mercenary in Haiti currently? We currently have mercenary in Haiti that is quote-unquote supposed to be providing security while the police officers are not getting paid. The Haitian police officers are not getting paid. However, the Haitian state is paying U.S. mercenary to oversee the security that never happens. So how do we make sure we address that? Use that money to build the roads, to build the schools. Do you know that we don't have food in Haiti right now? And again, whether it is Republican and others, there are certain things we need to address. Under Bill Clinton, Haitian states has lost 100% of their agriculture, 100%. The rice production, because the US had excess rice, and under Clinton, they needed a place to dump it. So therefore, they destroyed the local rice agriculture, to be able to export US rice. So currently today, because of that, Haitians cannot eat. So when we are talking about the current issues, how do we make sure that we bring back the rice production in Haiti? How do we make sure we bring back the peanut production in Haiti? That is the staple for all children when the US want to export the excess peanuts into Haiti. How do we address the fact that we continue to be in the States? Yes, because we have corrupt people in Haiti, but we understand that the boots of foreign policies from the US to France and all the other former colonizers continues to be there today. Schools, good schools for education, hospitals, road, agriculture, so we can feed ourselves, so we can govern ourselves, so I can go home and eat my mangoes. So the other thing I want to add before we finish, when we talk about Haiti, and they said the US sent $60 million in aid to Haiti. What is that? When we are sending 2 to 3 billion to Ukraine. But if we allow the mango farmers in Haiti to produce their mango and export the goods, we will not need your $60 million because we can export our food and we can make our own money and we can be self-sufficient. So how do we all, specifically Black America, understand that our interest is connected? There is no Black US without Haiti. Right. There is no Haiti without the African American Black people in the US, specifically those who are descendants of enslaved people in this land. I want to make it clear that we have a divide within Black America, and we have to understand that we are a family divided, and this is time for a family unification, whether you are formerly enslaved people from the Caribbean or in the US. So together we strongly believe there is a path forward. But with that understanding, we must force our Congress members to make sure they do the right thing, to make sure that when it comes to US foreign policies towards Haiti, the Haitian community is at the heart of it for the well-being of Haiti. Because most of the Haitians that we speak to every day, they do not want to come here, but they cannot be at home. We currently have a people that is in search of life. They cannot find that life at home. They cannot find it in the journey that they literally go through the Darien Gap, dying. They cannot find it at the US-Mexico border because we have people on horseback whipping them. And now we have Alcatraz alligator in Florida. And remember the name Alcatraz alligator because it takes back to the alligator bait of Black babies in the United States. So how do we understand that they don't have a life at home? They cannot have a life here. Before I pass it on, somebody mentioned CHNV. There are 2 young women who came here under CHNV. They followed every rule. Right now they are at risk of deportation. Why? Because US foreign policies do not see Black people as real people, and that includes Haitian immigrants, and make sure we understand that immigration is a Black issue.
Thank you, Guerline. So we're going to have some brief remarks from our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, and then we're going to transition to the next panel. So, but thank you all.
First of all, good morning. Good morning. And I really came to listen more so than to offer remarks, particularly when I go on the heels of that great presentation. Said it all. My name is Kwame Raoul. I serve as the Attorney General of the state of Illinois. I would love to say that I was the first Haitian American Attorney General, but Carl Racine from the District of Columbia, that should be the state of Columbia, served before me, and we partnered together in advocating for fair immigration policies as Attorneys General. Right now we have 7 African American Attorneys General in our group, and the advocacy that we need, such that, as the sister just spoke about, sometimes in our community, when I say our community, the black community, we allow people like the President of the United States to divide us. This conversation that was elevated during the last presidential election, because we had a sister of Jamaican descent, of ADOS versus Caribbean American, is something aimed at dividing us. I am an American, and I'm a descendant of slavery. And I know that the freedom movement in the United States would not have happened as early as it did were it not for Haiti.
Amen.
So I refuse to be divided. And I think we need to, I'm really impressed with this room. I didn't expect the room to be as full as it is today. I mistakenly went to some other rooms that didn't have as many people in here. So I am pleased. I'm pleased that we're being brought together. I'm pleased that you've had a great panel to say it better than I could. Let's come together. Let's not stand on our hands as we watch a president go out of their way to expedite asylum for Afrikaners and expedite efforts to deport Haitians.
Right.
It's unjust. So thank you for being here, and thank you all.
So I want to thank Attorney General Kwame Raoul. I want to thank Vanessa Joseph. Vanessa Joseph, because it's Vanessa Joseph and Guerline. You guys like cousins, okay. Guerline Joseph, Etzer Cantave, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. I keep slipping, okay. Jonathan Jackson. And Anastasie, Anastasie was here. She'll be giving comments, I'm sure, for the second panel. So at this time, I want to give everybody, all the panelists, our distinguished guests, a round of applause, and we want to welcome the second panel to come up so we can transition to the next panel.
And I also wanted to mention something else that actually impacts everyone here. If you send any money back home. There was a proposal at one point for 3.5% tax on remittances, and those were going to, the tax was going to apply to migrants only. It was revised to be a 1% tax, which sounds good, but that 1% tax applies to everyone. So whether you're a migrant, whether you're a U.S. naturalized citizen, what have you, it's going to apply. And actually the money that's going to go to the U.S. is going to increase as a result of the decrease. For Haiti, it means a lot because it's estimated that about the diaspora sends about $4 billion home to Haiti, and so that is going to equate to about $40 million for the U.S., and it is also estimated that whenever you have a 1% increase in that tax, there's a decrease in the amount of money that is sent. So for Haiti, it's estimated that it would decrease remittances about $64 million. But please understand, this applies to every single country in the world, and it definitely impacts everyone who is poor and dependent on money that is being sent back home to live.
Thank you so much. The next question will be, is how can the HALAs help support Haitians, and how can we as NBA attorneys help HALAs to support Haitians as well?
That's the easy question. So HALA, Haitian American Lawyers Association, and I know this is what's occurring with us in New York, how we are supporting our Haitians and our Haitian migrants particularly, is that we're doing Know Your Rights seminars, we're doing TPS summit seminars. We have been talking particularly, and I'm sure a lot of African Americans will appreciate this, working with the faith-based leaders. That is what helped the African Americans here make the movement, because you had Martin Luther King and you had all these other faith-based leaders who led the way. And that's what we're doing with HALA. It is because of faith-based leaders that we were able to get the TPS extended to February 2026, when the Trump administration was trying to have it stopped as of August 3rd, which would have meant that people who had TPS legal standing would have suddenly not have it and face possible deportation. Imagine, you think of roots and think of when slaves were just sold away. You had a child, you had family, and they're sold away. It's being done legally now, all right? That's what's happening now. So you built a business, you have a family, you have everything since 2011, and now you're being told you have to get out. So one of the things that we have to start doing now is, in the eventuality, is helping people to prepare. So we're working with other organizations to now provide financial advice, family advice, what to do with your child in the event that you are deported and you now have an American citizen child who's never been to Haiti. What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to your assets? People have paid into pensions, have money in the bank. People have homes, people have cars. And then the most important thing is mental health. Think about being worried to walk down the street and not being able to go back home to your families. So we're working very closely with various organizations to help them help our TPS brothers and sisters. Not even talking about the people whose pardons have been removed completely. The people who have been everything taken away from them and now have to worry about any minute now somebody following them down the street and just arresting them. So this is what we're doing.
Thank you. So we're going to ask the same question of the next of the each of the HALA presidents. Please.
What are you doing?
I think it is important for not only just HALA presidents, but for other attorneys to offer assistance to different Haitian lawyers associations, offer pro bono services, offer to assist with applications. If you know someone who's a translator, offer to assist with clinics that we have. Because it is very important that people not only know their rights, but they also prepare. Just as my sister just said here, they have to prepare what's going to happen to their home, their children. And the mental health aspect is very, very real, because we have often, we have a lot of social workers in the Haitian community, and we need to use the resources, not only the legal resources, but the resources that you know in our community, to help assist others and often preparing, because it is very difficult to walk down the street in fear, so a knock at the door, someone drives by your home and you don't know who it is. The fear that goes with that. People who are calling me saying that they're afraid to go to work, can they go to work? People who are trying to draw documents for their children. So it is important for the community, the legal community as a whole, to help assist not only the Haitian community, but also help assist the attorneys who are in this field, because I'm realizing more and more there are a lot of attorneys who are leaving the immigration field because they are so fearful. They feel like the practice is not the same anymore. And if we all leave, who is going to help our fellow Haitians? Who is going to help our fellow brothers and sisters? So we have to step up, and it's our responsibility. We all took an oath when we took the bar, when we became attorneys, and we have to realize that oath, it is bound more than just our own practice in our office. Even if you do not practice immigration law, I am just begging of everyone to help the community, help the other attorneys, help us help our people.
Yes. Hello again, my name is Dorothy Thomas, and I am the current president of HALA of Georgia. And I just want to echo what you said, because I think it is powerful. As I stated, I'm not an immigration attorney, but being president of HALA, I think the most important thing that we could do for our community is be a voice for our community. We are empowered and equipped with a legal profession that can really catapult our community forward. And what do I mean when I say that? I say providing education so we're able to empower our citizens, our constituents, to motivate lawmakers to pass policies that help them, to provide assistance, connecting them with pro bono attorneys or even attorneys who receive payment for services. A lot of our community may not know how to navigate this new area of their lives, and they need us to help guide them and put them in position to handle what is next. Right now we're living in very uncertain times in terms of immigration, and that creates a lot of stress for our community. And as lawyers, again, we're just empowered to help them navigate that process. So one of the great things I think that the organization can do is provide legal education to the community, and in doing so, we have to create space where we listen to our community and uplift their voice. So we understand what they're going through and helping them through the process. And I do not believe you need to be an immigration lawyer to do that. And that's the great thing about it. In our organization, we have lawyers and non-lawyers. We have people from all walks of life coming in because they realize that these policies are negatively and disproportionately affecting brown and black people. And I think as a community or as someone who cares about human rights, that you stand behind the community and make sure that you provide services where you can.
Good morning again, everyone. So a lot of us already mentioned a lot of things that are being done in our community. As far as HLF Florida, we have been focusing on educating the community, not only our migrant community, but also our non-migrant community, because a lot of things have been affecting both communities. So one of the things we do is legal orientation, and we usually partner with faith-based organizations because they are the one that most of the migrant respect is the pastors. So when we do go to the church, we get a lot done. And we do a lot of clinics with the TPS clinic, asylum clinics. And you don't have to be, again, an immigration attorney to help. We do have CLEs. We do have orientation for attorneys that don't practice immigration, how you are able to help in those type of clinics. But aside from immigration, as I mentioned, a lot of other laws are affected. We do have what we call the family preparedness, where we help individuals get power of attorney. I think someone already mentioned that. So we already know that with this new administration, we don't know what's to happen. Guerline mentioned someone that came under the CHNV now that's in detention. So a lot of these individuals are being caught anywhere, and they have the children in school, you know? So we want to know, if you are detained, what happened to your child that is still at school? Who is that child gonna go to? So we try to do guardianship, because a lot of those kids are US citizen kids, right? So we don't want your children to go to the system. So we do the guardianship, the power of attorney, so in case something happened, they know where your child gonna go home to this evening. And we are talking about ending TPS for individuals that have been here more than 15 years. A lot of them already have a home and build business and so on. So we wanna teach them, hey, if something happened to me, where is that gonna go to? So those are the things that we try to educate them and partner with individuals that don't only practice immigration, people that practice real estate, and criminal law attorneys who are making, defense attorneys who are making decisions for the clients who are immigrants. A lot of times they'll think something as simple as a traffic violation would not affect the individual, but it does affect their immigration status. So we try to educate as many other individuals that are not only immigration attorney to be able to help. And they create the HLA Florida Foundation. Earlier, you heard City Clerk Vanessa talked about the grant, and HLA is one of the individuals that have that grant. So with the foundation, we have been able to give individuals free consultations and help them with certain cases and provide them with legal help and immigration, eviction diversion. So for a lot of them that are being evicted, only simply because the landlord is afraid that they are going to be in trouble with the law for allowing immigrants to stay at the home. So we help them with eviction diversion, landlord and tenant issues, and contract issues, because a lot of people obviously take advantage of individuals that are migrants simply because they know there are migrants in the can. So with the foundation, we're able to help these individuals with those type of cases.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna go right back down. So can you describe the current humanitarian and legal crisis unfolding in Haiti and what makes it different from past periods of stability?
Whoever wants to answer that question.
Guerline, you want to respond?
Go to the next question.
Okay. So then
Nobody wants to touch that.
Okay.
Because
Okay. We'll have a Q&A with Guerline. So then the next question then we'll ask is we're going to go down the road, and it is what are some of the immigration concerns brought about by the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill? And then the next question is, what are your recommendations for those seeking asylum? So we'll just go down this way.
I think Rodney can shoot.
Okay.
So with, okay, so I guess with the big, I'll let you answer the Big Beautiful Bill. I get too passionate when it comes to that. But I guess for asylum is really educating the migrant community, because people don't understand how important an asylum application is. And a lot of time they go to what we call notario, and that's literally for every immigrant. That's not just Haitian, that's everyone. Because notario in most countries are considered attorneys and very high educated individuals. So when they think about notario, they think about attorneys. So when they go to the immigration fill paper places and get their things filled out, and when it's time to go to court, they're realizing, oh man, I do not have an attorney to represent me. And a lot of time they don't even know what's in the application. Asylum is a humanitarian demand that the United States takes very seriously. So if there's anything wrong with it, it can bar you from being adjusted in the United States altogether, no matter what you do. So a lot of time, those mistakes get these individuals to not even be able to have simple relief like TPS. So, and especially with this new wave of group of the CHNV individuals that have been here for 2 years or over 1 year, and they're all trying to do asylum only because they're afraid to go back. Nobody are explaining to them what could happen. Doing an asylum can put you in removal proceedings, right? Because it's after the 1 year, and they don't know the elements, the requirements of asylum. And worse, what I'm seeing now is applying for asylum and leaving the country and trying to come back, thinking it's okay because that application can take up to 12 years before they call you. So, and these individuals think they can just leave and come back, and when you leave and come back, you end up in removal proceedings. So there's a lot of education that need to go on when it comes to asylum, and I think it's so important that people need to educate the migrant community and also the non-migrant community who think that it's a simple 12-page application and not realize the consequences of completing this application.
Impact of the Big Beautiful Bill.
Yes, absolutely. So the Big Beautiful Bill. So a lot of people thought that the Big Beautiful Bill had to do with, okay, Medicare, Medicaid, child, SNAP and all this other stuff. But what they did in the Big Beautiful Bill was that they increased the prices for all of the applications that people were making, whether it was TPS, whether it was citizenship, whether it's asylum, whether it's SINJ. All of the applications were increased enormously. So an application that used to maybe cost $250, $350, maybe even $750, now costs $1,500. Now costs $5,000 for you to do. So they've put all these things in place to make it as difficult as possible for you to even go through some of the processes that's been put in place. And just to piggyback on the asylum issue, we advise people do not go to asylum appointments without someone. Because what they used to do before is you would go and you apply for your asylum, you put in your papers and everything, maybe you would have an attorney, and they may give you a date 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as we said. They don't do that anymore. They give you 3 weeks. And you come back, and you don't know what's in your papers exactly, if they've been put in the way they're supposed to be put in, because there's certain things that make you eligible for asylum. And you don't put the right things in, and then the judge asks you, well, why are you here? Say, for example, maybe you're homosexual, and you're afraid to go back because when you were in your country, where you were in your town, they beat you up, they did all kinds of things to you, and so now you're afraid. But you don't explain that, right? Because you don't really have the language, you're there by yourself. Immediately, they say, oh, your asylum application is not approved, and now you have nothing. And that's why ICE is standing outside the door waiting for you to walk out. And that's how they're getting a lot of people. So there's a lot of issues to these applications now that you used to be able to do and have some kind of protections, some kind of barriers. Those are not there anymore. They've taken them away. And those are the issues that we're dealing with.
Thank you. What I wanted to ask the panel is, I know a lot of immigration attorneys, immigrant attorneys, they're afraid, not so much afraid, but they're concerned about us being denaturalized, us who are standing at the forefront of the fight. So I wanted to get your thoughts, because I think some people are kind of, concerned about stepping up and helping more. So that aspect of being denaturalized, I want to hear your thoughts on that. What can be done, and what can NBO attorneys do to support us, immigrants, attorneys that are at the forefront of the fight? I'll start with you.
Oh, wow. I shouldn't be speaking. I could be subject to that myself. Okay.
So can all of us?
No, not if you were born here. I mean, what if, on the panel, do you have anyone who was just born here?
We're next.
Right, after they get rid of the immigrant.
I'm sorry about that. I thought I was by myself. But in any event, it is out there. Lawyers, we have a different calling. We go into the business not just for money or glamour or what have you. So there are certain courts, and it just depends on you. I mean, I would just say that lawyers are usually the last line of defense in a lot of different situations. And so if the lawyers don't stand up, then what will happen? I don't know.
It's the same thing for me. My parents were immigrants. I was born here, so I'm a birthright baby. And so this whole executive order that's being discussed is a possibility of removing those rights. Now, I've been here for many years. I'm a woman of a certain age, so imagine if they decide to denaturalize me because I'm a birthright baby. So all of us, whether you were born in Haiti, whether you were born here and you're an immigrant, or you're from immigrant descent, we're all at risk. One of the things that I do want to say before I pass on the mic is, we joked earlier before about Jamaicans and who's better and whatever. However, we started our fight in Haiti in 1791, and we had allies. One of our biggest allies was John Bookman, who was Jamaican. So I just want to bring us back around circle, that we're all in this fight together. Had it not been for his aid of us, we would not be where we are today. So we need to see each other as one and the same and not different.
I think the talk about denaturalization of even attorneys for stepping up, I think that is the biggest fear. Like, you know how often we hear there's a lot of fear mongering, right? There's fear mongering amongst the immigrant community. They're going to tell you all the things to make you scared so that you don't apply for certain relief that you're eligible for. And I think that we, as attorneys, we have to think bigger than that. We understand that we were put here, we have a calling. Like, we didn't just fall into the profession. And as attorneys, we also have to realize that I'm not going to let you make me afraid to do what I need to do, because this is what I am here to do. Yes. So that fear-mongering, it's not going to pass muster. Yes. We're going to continue to push on. We're going to do what we were sent here to do, and we are going to fight for our people. Amen. I don't even have it be a second thought in my mind that they could denaturalize me, because if you try, you're going to have a fight in front of you.
First, I think about what one of the panelists said on panel 1, when they said that it affects these immigration policy not only affects people living in Haiti, but it also affects people here in the United States. And I think that conversation about denaturalizing a citizen speaks to that it is an issue that we're all affected by. And it's almost like a full circle moment. But also, I think it speaks to that this is the time for us to use our voice. And this is why I think the HALA of all these states are so wonderful, because it's an opportunity for us to organize, to educate, and to mobilize. And that's how we're going to be able to affect change. The more knowledge that we have, the more information that we have, we're going to be able to communicate that to the lawmakers who can put change in effect. And we as a people are empowered to do that. So again, I think it just speaks to how much more we got to wake up. And we got to understand that it's not just people back in Haiti that's affected and oh, we're good because we're in the United States. But no, we as a community, it crosses the water, and we have to be connected to our homeland and always understand where our roots are, because we're Haitian first. I say, I'm Haitian first, and then I'm American, and I'm black, and I'm a woman, all these other things. So I just think it's just a reminder that we are in this together, and we have to hear when one of our brothers and sisters is hurting, that we need to speak up for them, because ultimately it can always come back to us as well. So I think it's an opportunity.
Thank you. So attorneys are considered the last bastion of justice, as you already mentioned. Immigration is not an immigrant issue, it is a black issue, and many don't understand that. And I do feel that a lot of African Americans don't understand that, and they are afraid themselves as well, right? I love to say I'm Haitian American, although I was born in the United States. So denaturalize, I'm a fighter. I'm gonna keep fighting every day. So I'm gonna keep fighting for my people. I'm gonna keep fighting for the immigrant community, no matter what. Because if we don't fight, who is going to fight for them? If we let them scare us and shut us down, who's gonna continue on fighting? So we just gotta keep doing what we're doing and know that it's not only an immigrant issue, the Haitian American issue, but a black issue, and to continue on fighting together.
Thank you, Deborah. So I have two questions, final questions, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. And again, you guys, we're recording this, so because for me, I have to watch it over again. We will be having some virtual sessions, and obviously planning another panel. We've got Wiley Branton coming up. So the next two questions are, what legal obligations does the U.S. have under international law in response to the Haitian crisis? And then what can be done immediately to help Haitian immigrants that are currently housed in the U.S. Alligator Alcatraz? I will start with that question, see what Deborah has to say since she's right there in Florida. And then who wants to take the other question about what legal obligations does the U.S. have under international law in response to the Haitian crisis? Who wants to take that? Anybody on the panel? Guerline? Anybody? Want to give it to pump it to Guerline?
It's not that. It's at this point, under this administration, they don't have any obligation. They don't want to have any obligation.
I was saying international law.
International law, nobody's doing anything, nobody's saying anything, and they have no obligation. It's not even like it's under the Geneva Convention that they should assist us. Whatever we're getting, if we're getting anything, it's only based on the goodness of the president and his Congress and everybody else saying this is wrong, we should do something. The reason why we got TPS was because we had this terrible earthquake, people couldn't go back home, and Clinton said, okay, let's give them TPS for the people who are here so that they could work and they could try to send some money back home and build it up. And now we have a president who says we don't deserve it anymore, and is just taking it away. So there is no obligation from anybody in the international community. France forced us to pay what is equivalent of $21 billion because we set ourselves free. And we paid every penny. Every penny. By 1947, we paid it all. Every penny, with interest, that's with interest. It was valued at $21 billion in 2017. Who knows what the value is of it today? But I'm just trying to illustrate the fact that there's no obligation.
And while I will piggyback on the there's no obligation, but as an immigration attorney and a practitioner, despite it's very, very difficult right now to make your arguments in immigration court or before USCIS. However, I will always make the argument under international law, which is conventions against torture. Yes. So regardless of whether there is, like we feel that we're being heard, I think it's important to remember that there is law that is put in place that the U.S. is not allowed to send someone home unless they follow the proper protocol. Now, are they doing that? No. Not really. But are we still here to argue that? Because later on, that argument can be used for future litigation. In order to have the channels work the way they're supposed to work, we have to follow the law, and then we need to make our arguments so that the wonderful people like Guerline, who is filing the lawsuits, will have those. They will have that the arguments were made so that we can keep, like we say, we preserve the record. So we have to remember that we must always preserve the record, no matter how much despair there may be in the way that they are implementing things. Right. But we must remember that it's our obligation to preserve the record.
Thank you. Amen.
Well, did anybody want to speak to the alligator Alcatraz? I want to have Deborah speak to that, and then we're going to open up to Q&A, I promise. Okay. What can we do about alligator Alcatraz? I mean, if we figure out who's running alligator Alcatraz, then maybe we'll be able to do something. I think everybody's throwing the blame at everyone. We have had 1,000 meetings with different sectors, whether ICE is leading it, whether the county is leading it, whether the state leading it. So everybody's throwing the blame at someone. So I guess at this point, we got to figure out how to shut it down. We have to advocate. We have a lot of our elected officials that are advocating. A lot of them are actually scared because they're all being threatened for the jobs by advocating. So, okay, so there is a lot of human rights violation right now happening at alligator Alcatraz. Attorneys having a difficult time even contacting the client. The area is not only about the human rights violation, there is environmental law that is being violated right now. It is a sacred land also for the Native American. There is so much going on with alligator Alcatraz. I think we just got to come together and figure out really who's responsible and what type of advocacy that we are doing. Even though we asked to come inside to view it, there is still, I guess, we don't really see what's happening. So we only hear what's happening, but we don't see it. Honestly, I get too emotional to start talking about it, but I don't know if anyone else want to say something. I know that Vanessa was out here trying to fight also for the individuals over there, so.
Thank you so much. In regards to what the international community can do, I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words as a student of study diplomacy. I want to remind the audience, and especially the ones who will be watching online, what the UN was created for. When it was created back in 1945 and Haiti is a founding member of that. It was created primarily to maintain international peace and security. And I'll just give you a brief synopsis. That includes to prevent wars and also to promote, it also for the promotion of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. So there is something that the international community can do. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know.
Okay, thank you all. You've been very patient. I want to thank the panelists. Let's give them a round of applause. Do we have any questions for our panelists from the audience there? I know there were some note cards that were going around, or if you want to stand up, say your name, where you're from, and ask the question. And speak loudly. Okay, you can stand
up. First and foremost, thank you to both esteemed panelists. I'm Natasha Darty from Maryland, and my question to the panel and is to each of you, I would really like for us to leave in terms of a call to action. We have a room filled of lawyers, Haitians, friends of Haitian, I'm first generation Haitian. Each of you, if you could give us one thing and hopefully something different that we can do regardless of our practice. I am the public defender for the state of Maryland, but as a public defender for the state of Maryland, I know people who do things and we can all do things. So please share.
Definitely, I would say that there are a lot of clinics that are being held nationwide, and some of them are virtual. So if you hear about them, go ahead and participate. Don't think, oh, I don't practice this type of law, I'm not an immigrant, and I'm not able to help. And for example, you mentioned that you're a defense attorney. So as a criminal defense attorney, it's also important to understand immigration law and how does it affect your client, and letting your colleagues know how important it is sometimes to actually consult with an immigration attorney before making an individual sign a plea or go to trial.
I would say make yourself useful and available. I'm not an immigration attorney, but I know I do a little bit of criminal defense, and I know I have stepped in cases just to be like a translator, informal translator for a client, and who needs to be connected with someone who doesn't speak Creole. So I think it's incumbent upon us to figure out ways that we can really get our boots on the ground to effectuate change. And I think that looks different for everyone, depend on your skill set. So regardless of whether you're an attorney or not, there's ways that you can add value to the current immigration condition, even if it's not, practicing law. Like I said, just something simple as maybe giving a referral to an immigration attorney, or connecting somebody with a clinic that they can get free services from. I think it could look different ways depending on your skill set and the resources that you are knowledgeable about.
Two things I think everybody knows, but just in case everybody doesn't know, wherever you are bored, you can practice immigration law, right? You can be anywhere, you can practice immigration law. So I think it's important, because a lot of people think it's in the state where the person is at, but you can offer assistance. And I know we're talking a lot about immigration, but I do think that's one thing that's very important too. When we talk about guardianship of children, now, it's less complicated, in my opinion, than practicing actual immigration law. I think maybe guardianship clinics in your state, different people set up guardianship clinics where we are helping Haitian migrants, Haitian people who have TPS who may have to leave, helping them just set a plan for their children, their home. I know that the immigration front is really important, but remember, a lot of people here with TPS, they are not in immigration court, they don't have any immigration applications pending, but they need a plan in place. And while we don't want to talk about the possibility of being deported, it's a real possibility. So helping to mobilize, educate the community, mobilize attorneys, let's help with different aspects of things, whether it be housing, employment, guardianship. We have to help in every way that we can. Let's just not focus on just practicing immigration law.
Join our organizations. HALA of New York, it's Halani OF, HALA OF New York. Go online, join our organizations. We get calls from people all across the country who have problems. And so maybe if you're an attorney from the DMV area, you're an attorney from Florida, we can connect people. So I think that's the most important thing that you can do. And then you know what our organizations are doing and what we're facing, and you can offer your assistance and service that way. Because the only way you'll find out about clinics, you'll find out about your Know Your Rights, you'll find out about community summits is because we're advertising it within our organizations. So join our organizations, and you don't have to be from New York to join HALA of New York. You don't have to be from DMV to join a DMV HALA or Georgia HALA or whatever, but just join us, so that you're with us in the fight and you know what we're going through.
All right, I'll say a couple of things. One, very practical. So the National Immigrants Justice Center put together a Know Your Rights bulletin that was translated into Creole by the Haitian American Museum of Chicago. So that's something that can be distributed so that, you know, everyone knows. I mean, you don't have to open the door when somebody comes to the door, okay? So just very practical advice in that. But I will take us to something, well, let me also say too that it's important for triage of asylum applications. Some of the time you don't actually want to file an asylum application, okay? And something else that I will mention, because the first panel talked about it, but now we're a bit removed. HR 1114 is really incredibly important. And so some of you may have connections to Congress, you know, people, whether Republicans, whether Democrats, and all of that, both houses, both aisles. We need help in getting sponsors for that bill. Right now there are, I believe, 8 sponsors, and we need a whole lot more to be able to get that passed. But that will be something very practical in terms of being able to put in some money into the country to actually turn the economic situation around, because the base of the violence is likely the economic situation.
So at this point, you want to say something more? No. At this point, we wanted to ask Guerline. Oh, there was, okay, go ahead. Before we, and then we'll pass the mic to Guerline to say some closing remarks.
My name is Jack Pigeon, member of the Haitian Coalition Founder, and I would like to, I'm working with the migrants, but many times they encourage the migrant to file for asylum. But when we come to go to court, we cannot have no lawyer to refer them, to help them. How can you help me to get a referral from the lawyer, because most of them don't have no money. You know, they're looking for free. How can you help me for?
What you can do is, there's Catholic Charities offers a lot of assistance, and it's free assistance. So you can reach out to Catholic Charities. It's a resource. My girlfriend works for Catholic Charities in New York, but they're all over the country. So you can reach out to them and let them know that you have people who need assistance with asylum.
And
Catholic Charities.
Yveline is right there. She's a resource.
Right. That's another resource.
Jozef with the Bridge Alliance.
Right.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm going to be honest. I like to be honest. No matter how many attorneys take on an immigration case, there would never be enough attorneys to represent every migrant here. So yes, we can connect to your nonprofit organization. I am a nonprofit attorney, been there my whole career at Catholic Legal Services, and we barely have enough attorneys. We have an office of 100 individual, over 70 attorneys, and we are the 2 Haitian attorneys in there. And we are in Miami, Florida, who represent the Florida, which is where all Haitians are, most. So there will never be enough attorneys to represent every migrant. However, it's important for individuals to understand the right and understand the asylum system to be able to self-represent, because we emphasize on this education, because I know that we cannot represent everyone. So educating them and teaching them how to go to the system and testifying properly on your own is also something that we try to do, because we know the reality of things. You cannot represent everyone. And even with the nonprofits that are representing individuals, those grants are so restricted that a lot of them are not even qualified to be represented by someone in the law firm. So I guess the best next part is what Lobonos, where private attorney, private attorney do it at a lower price, but yeah, so that's the reality of it.
Okay, I know Guerline wanted to come up and give some brief remarks before she heads out, and then did somebody else have a question? We're gonna take a couple more.
One last one back.
One last question. So we'll take the question and have Guerline come up.
Quick question, Ray Van, first generation Haitian American, going back to birthright citizenship and the threat to birthright citizenship. This affects communities other than Haitians, right? And there are groups that have not previously been allies to the Haitian American community, but who are threatened by this, this situation as well. What can we do to bring perhaps former adversary communities to the fold to fight collectively against this threat to birthright citizenship?
I think that, did anybody want to answer? Or?
Oh, okay. Well, it's information. It's providing. Okay, yes, go ahead. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Right.
So the first thing I want to say is that when Venezuelans first got TPS, these are my personal remarks. There were 4 Haitian women who came together to do free education and clinics in that community. Not Venezuelan attorneys, 4 Haitian women, 2 attorneys, no, 3 attorneys, and maybe one, somebody from a nonprofit executive. And then when everything was happening, Venezuelans failed to stand with us, right? And I make a broad stroke remark. This is not, obviously this is not every single person in the Venezuelan community. Folks have to see that their struggle is tied to ours. Right. We cannot force people to come along with us if they do not see that their struggle is inherently tied to the same struggle that we are fighting. Right. So we have, as Haitians, this habit and this culture, you know, long-standing desire to always want to bring everybody along at our own expense. Because in trying to get every single person rallied up and with us, we fail to prioritize some of our own needs. And so we have to get to a point where folks have to see what we're going through is what you're going through, and we need to figure this out together. We cannot force them to come. But nevertheless, we still continued in the Venezuelan community to continue to do, and every community, honestly, because we are immigration attorneys, we're not Haitian immigrant attorneys, right? So we continue to do the education, and at the end of every single consultation or service that I provide, I tell the person who's sitting in front of me that this struggle is not yours alone. There's somebody behind you who's going to need that help. Regardless of where they come from, I ask you to assist. And I remember I said that, before I even got to say that to this one Venezuelan woman that I was assisting, she says to me, you know, I have a boyfriend, he's from X country that's right next to Haiti. And he's like, you know, it's good that they're doing this or whatever. And she was like, don't forget that you came into this country the same way that you're saying that they invaded yours. Your folks came to this country too. And you are probably next on the chopping block. And so we cannot say that about people because they are our people too. A Venezuelan woman. And so it was really interesting that I didn't even have to say that. And she said, whatever it is that you need, I'm happy to provide. I'm happy to assist however I can. I don't speak English, but I'll figure it out. I'll help you however you need me to. Even if it is to clean up the space that you all are using, I am there for you. So those are the kinds of people that, yeah, you can bring on, and hopefully they'll go back and tell somebody that we got to join them and make this group bigger.
Thank you, Vanessa. And as Chairman is approaching, I just want to talk about for future actions. I want to let you know, like, if you haven't joined International Law Section or MBA, you can go on the MBA website and do that, pay the dues. I think they're like $35. If you want to contact me, my email is robynlegal2019@gmail.com. That's Robyn with a Y, ROBYNLEGAL 2019@gmail.com. This video will be on my Robyn Legal YouTube and my Robyn Legal website. And then International Law will be working to update our social media and have our Instagram and X and all that. And so stay tuned for that. And yeah, there's going to be future action steps. We'll be doing things virtually. International Law typically meets virtually. There'll be some upcoming conferences. You know, I went to the New York conference, Chicago, I went to Indianapolis. We also have our president, Dorothy Dean of Black Women Lawyers in Michigan. Stand up, Dorothy is our newest president. Welcome. And so Dorothy will tell you, she knows when I take on an issue, I will stay with it, as we're helping to save our Black women judges, help the attorneys that are indigent defense, and Dorothy's a doer too. So so sometimes I did track, and sometimes it's like I know I can't do it all. My mama, she tells me, she's like, you can't do it all. So it's like we got to pass the baton on to the next folks. We got Herbert Adams, who is with the criminal justice and juvenile law section. And yeah, we'll be doing a panel at 1 o'clock with Fawny Willis. It's going to be in Michigan 3, and dismantling the school to prison pipeline. And I was at the civil rights panels yesterday. I was like, I'm like in school. I'm like, I love this. I teach too. So I'm like, and they were talking about like, if you're gonna help, then help. If you don't want to be a part of the solution, then leave. We need people that are like-minded to come in. We don't need to have a whole bunch of fussing and fighting. We need to kill the Willie Lynch effect. Okay, it needs to die. It needs to die with African Americans, with people in the Caribbean. Yveline, we've been talking about starting up a Caribbean region for the NBA. So we can talk about a Haitian section it looks like we're doing it already for international law, a subcommittee. So, there's always something you can do. I know in Michigan, there's going to be a fundraiser September 26th for the Haitian Nursing Foundation. So if you send me an email, we'll create a group. I can have my assistant do that, and so you can kind of keep up on what's going on. You can learn to be Haitian too. Moi, je parle français. I speak French. I got to learn the Creole. I got to be more cultural immersion, take some classes. But anyway, I'm going to give it to Guerline, and then we're going to take a picture at the end, everybody, with all the panelists. And then, we just keep up the fight.
Thank you so much, Robyn. Amazing. Grateful for you. A couple of things I wanted to touch on is crimmigration. And it's good to see we do have folks within the criminal justice system here. And what it is that as Black immigrants, we are a part of the general Black community. So our communities are over-policed. And we are seeing children getting picked up after school into the criminal justice system and into the deportation pipeline. The crimmigration is one of the biggest part that gets people deported because we are over-policed. So I wanted to add that. And wanted to invite everyone to please, please, please reach out to the Haitian Bridge Alliance. No matter what your practice is, we need you. We are seeing people who are having minor infraction and being arrested for that and then being deported. It could be as simple as child support, right? It could be as simple as taking the red light, and also the crimmigration issue that I just mentioned. But at the end of the day, I want us to understand the goal for this deportation machine that is really impacting Black and brown people is what is at the heart of Project 2025. And we are living the nightmare of Project 2025. And the goal for that is 2045. Do we know what that is? So 2045, in the mind of white nationalism, is that by that year, we will have a minority-majority country. So they are afraid of losing the power. And at the heart of Project 2025, the deportation machine of Haitians and others is the goal for a white America that has never been, never will be. However, our very existence as black people is an act of resistance. So let's not forget that. I know we're out of time, but really wanted to add those so we understand our shared struggle. But for the sister who mentioned the other communities, the Haitian Bridge Alliance started the TPS for Venezuela. They don't know that. We are currently in court representing the TPS for Venezuela, for Nepal, for Honduras. Under the Haitian Bridge Alliance, we have those different parts, but people don't understand that when we stand up for everyone. And as Ms. Joseph mentioned, it's up to them to come back to the fold. Haiti, Venezuela's flag, and the majority of the flags from Gran Colombia is the Haitian flag, and they add the gold and the yellow on top. Because they came to Haiti to get the ammunition, the food they needed to go back and fight. But when they came to Haiti, Haitians told them the only thing we want you to do is to free South America and make sure that black people in your countries are free. But guess what? When the Afro-Latinx people show up at the border, they call the Haitian Bridge Alliance because they only see their skin color. So together we continue to stand on behalf of the Venezuelan community, the Honduran community, the Nepalese and all of that. And we will continue to do so, but not begging them to give back, because we stand on business for all people, and our freedom and liberation are connected. So, with that being said, black people, we cannot allow Project 2025 to continue, and we definitely must stand on business when it comes to 2045. Thank you so much.
You've heard the two panels, and are there any attorneys in the room, not only attorneys, people that want to offer, pro bono services, or at least are thinking about providing that? If you are, may we please have your contact information? You may... Can you stand up for those of you who may want to lend a hand? Right now we don't know what that lane is, because we don't know what kind of attorney you are, what practice, what your area of practice.
It's free.
We don't provide legal services.
No charge.
That's pro bono.
No
charge. Legal services for a low rate. Pro bono is when a lawyer will give you legal advice or assistance for free. That's pro bono. Low bono, like I do expungements, and I do expungements low bono. And I do other stuff pro bono, which my mom will tell you. She's like, you always out there. But anyway, you need to make some money, girl. You out here. But so that's pro bono.
Thank you, Robyn. So anybody in this room, thank you. I see one person. Please stand up, and I will pass this around to get your contact information.
You got two. You got a gentleman.
Okay, thank you. And we're taking pictures, so we know that you stood up.
Okay, we can have Chair Simmons head up. So we're gonna do a photo with the panelists, and then I also want to acknowledge we have a representative, a brother from the Black Lawyers of South Africa. If you could stand up. So we got folks coming from the motherland that are very much, again, they are us and we are them. I took a class on constitutionalism in South Africa. I did an externship. And it's interesting because they were dealing with apartheid, and it's like we thought we were more advanced. We helped them, but now we're going through apartheid now. So it's like we got to look to them. We have to look to each other when it comes to combating white supremacy, racism. They had their fierce leaders, Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, and we've got ours, but it's like we're stronger together than divided. So Yveline is running for office for those of you in New York. So if y'all want to support her, she's taking donations. So you want to vote for her in New York, give her whatever support you can, share her information on social media. I want to thank our cameraman, videographer, tech support, Kyle Caldwell. I want to thank our new mentee, Elijah Spencer, stand up. He's as a junior at Howard. We got to help. Yeah, we gotta help our, that's another thing. They're coming after lawyers, law students. If we don't train and mentor our young people, we've got to continue this. We've only got 5% of us are African American attorneys. There's 1.3 million attorneys, only 5% black. That's 65,000. We've got to make sure, it should be 14%. We've got to make sure that we do what we can for the next generation. So again, thank you all for coming. Again, the video will be on YouTube, Robyn Legal. And everybody have a blessed day. And if you're so inclined, come join us at 1 o'clock in Michigan 3 for the panel with Fonnie Willis. Thank you.